Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'll be getting into my story time for my labor and delivery. You know, did I have the C-section? Did I have my baby natural? I'll be getting all into that, into the story. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed my last two videos. I'll put those links to those videos in the description below. So go ahead and check those out for me. And don't forget, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and maybe I'll do something a little special for you guys. So just let me know. And without further ado, let's hop into the video. So everybody, my due date was August 5th and August 7th. I know you're not supposed to have two due dates, but every time I went to the doctor, it kind of kept changing a little bit because of sonograms, all that other stuff. But yeah, so my baby actually came August 6th, so she like met right in the middle, which was perfect. But weeks leading up to my due date, actually, every time I went for my weekly checkups, I was not dilating, so I became frustrated because I was over being pregnant. I was done with it, and I just wanted to see my baby already. So since I was not dilating, and that was between like 37 weeks to 40 weeks, that was 3 weeks, and basically I just wasn't moving and having any progress or whatever, so I had to get induced. And if you don't know what an induction is, basically it's a process that jumpstarts your labor to get you going, you know, if you're not having problems or if the baby has not made any progress or anything like that. There's different type of inductions. The one that I got and received was the balloon, and what the balloon is, basically it goes inside your cervix and it pulls it down so it can open up. And when I got that, I can tell you that the pain, it was honestly no pain until like I started getting my Pitocin. And the Pitocin, basically what that is like a medicine, or like a, I want to say a catalyst, if you don't know what that is, like a jump start. A catalyst to basically help your contractions, and it makes it stronger, they last longer, and they are more frequent. So it really didn't hurt. What they did was they filled the balloon up with saline, and saline is basically just water, and they filled it up to about 60 inside the cervix and then 80 inside the other area. And they tugged on it, make sure that it was tight in there, and they left it in for 12 hours. So I had that balloon in me from, I want to say, 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. that the next morning. But all while that balloon was in me, I was like very sick. I was throwing up. I had very, very, very bad contractions. Like I wasn't just feeling it. It was just too much. I asked for more medicine. I was like high off the drugs. It was just too much pain. And I can rate it and say that the pain was about, I'll say an 8. It wasn't like a 10, but I'll definitely say an 8. And what I did to get through my contractions was basically, I just said my ABCs. Every time I got from A to Z, the contraction was over, and it kind of helped me. So that's one of my techniques. If you having contractions and you know you want to just say something to help you go through with it, say your ABCs, because it worked for me. But after I had the balloon, and they actually took it out at 9 a.m. and then I completely went ahead and asked for my epidural. I was like, give me my epidural. I don't want to feel no more contractions. I'm done with it. You can keep my epidural. And then that's when the anesthesiologist came in, and only one person could be in the room with me while I was getting that done. So my boyfriend was there with me, and basically they just had me sit straight up and clean my back and all that good stuff. And after they cleaned my back, they just, you know, shot it like right in the back, and they just put a catheter in there, and then that way, you know, you don't have to worry about it because the tube stays in your back. They don't just shoot you and it goes, no, the tube actually stays in your back, and they just tape it up. And a lot of people say that the epidural hurt, but honestly, mine didn't hurt. I just stayed still and let them do their job. I'm not afraid of needles because I have like tattoos and piercings, so I'm not afraid of needles, and it really just didn't hurt. I just sat there and they did whatever they had to do, and it was over. And it was quick. So if you're thinking, oh, you know, should I get an epidural? If you are, you know, set in stone, oh, I don't want to feel any pain, or this is my first baby, I'm scared, I encourage you to get the epidural. It helps. And you don't want to get it too early in the process, because then it might wear off, and then you might not feel it. So you might not feel like, ugh. It wears off, and then you might feel the pain when you give birth. So you might want to be a little careful when you decide on when you want to get your epidural. So back to the story. Hours went past, and I want to say around 1 I want to say around 12 p.m. I was only 6.5 centimeters dilated, which was horrible because I was 6 centimeters when they took it out. So I'm still not dilated, still not progressing, and now I'm getting more frustrated because one, I'm dehydrated, I'm hungry, I can't eat anything. They don't let you eat anything, of course. You can't even drink water, so your lips will be chapped. So I kept this chapstick. I kept this right here because my lips was freaking dry and I don't want to have dry lips and have them crack and bleed. So I kept my chapstick, and that helped with my lips, you know, my face not being so dry because you can't drink water. The only thing you can eat is ice. So that's all I ate for like a day and a half was ice. So yeah, so I was only 6 centimeters dilated, and that wasn't basically good. So they decided that, okay, we're never going to break your water. So when they broke my water, they discovered that my baby actually pooped in me. And they basically told me that since my daughter pooped in me, I would have to, you know, have the NICU team in my room with me so that just in case if she swallows any of that, they had to, you know, hurry up, get that stuff out of her so she won't get sick, because who the hell swallows poop? So after she broke my water and discovered that, hours went past, and basically with the epidural, I started to feel pain. So I asked for more medicine. They gave me more medicine, and honestly, I could not feel my legs at all. I couldn't even move them and pick them up. And when you get an epidural, you get a catheter inside of your bladder, which empties your bladder. And when it empties it, you don't even know that you're peeing. So they always say, you know, stay in bed, don't get out the bed because you can fall, because that's how numb you are. And I was basically, you know, just numb. I kept switching sides, trying to get the baby to move down different positions, and nothing worked. By 6 p.m. on August 6th, they basically came in and told me, you know, nothing's working. We're going to try to give it another hour and see what happens. And then around 15 minutes after that, I actually caught a fever and an infection. So while I'm in labor, I actually got sick. I had a fever of 103, y'all. And if you never had a fever that high, you know that when you're like, you know, that hot, you're also cold as well. So it just it doesn't go together. And I was just like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this no more. I'm ready to get the baby out. And it just became very, very frustrating. So after they found out that I had a fever of 103, they told me that I was going to have to get a C-section, which was not planned. I did not want to have a C-section. I was scared of getting cut because this was my biggest surgery. I never had something like this big, never stayed in the hospital, never had like a huge surgery. So this was something huge for me, and I was really, really nervous and scared about it, and I did not want to do it. But unfortunately, with all the poop and not dilating, I had to have a C-section to get her out, and I had a fever, so I had to get her out. So I want to say about 6:30, it was time to, you know, go in the operating room. And while they're doing all that, I'm like completely shaken because I'm cold, I'm scared, and I'm just like ready to get this over with. And as they're, you know, in the operating room setting things up, they're switching me from the roll-in bed to the operating table. And then they start to put these sheets in front of me so I can't really see anything. I can hear, I'm wide awake. They didn't put me to sleep. So I know people said that, like, back in the days or whatever, you used to be asleep when you're getting your procedure done, but this time I was wide awake. I can hear everything, see everything, all that. And I'm gonna add some clips in here so that you guys can see what it looks like. I'm not gonna show you like the actual cutting because it's kind of gruesome, but I am gonna add some clips of me just on the table and just get a glimpse of what it looks like in the room. So I'll put that in there for you guys.
You got this. Okay.
Good. Okay, here comes baby. Got your camera ready?
Yep.
So if you looked at the clip, you can see, you know, the little blue sheet that they had in front of me, the thing in my nose, all that good stuff they had on me to make sure that I was okay. So you should see that in the clip. And as we're doing it, you know, they start to tell me, you're gonna feel a tug, you're gonna feel a push. Now, I did feel the tug. I did feel like a little push to like pushed her down on my stomach and I felt the tug. And the only reason was that is because they're actually like pulling the baby out of you, and it's just not moving down naturally. They're actually pulling the baby out of you. So I felt the push and tug, but it honestly, it didn't hurt as much. I know people think, oh, if I'm gonna have a C-section, I'm gonna feel it that much, but you're not. It doesn't really hurt that much, and you would just feel them pulling on the baby to get the baby out, and it's not really a hard push, so you'll be okay. So after they get the baby out, she did not cry automatically. She just waited a couple of minutes, and then she decided to cry. She let her cry, and I was relieved because I didn't want her to have all that stuff. Well, they call it colonium. I don't want to have all that colonium in her lungs. I wanted her to be able to breathe, be healthy. But unfortunately, since I had a fever, that fever went down to my baby, and she had a fever of 101. And that wasn't good. So basically, after they got her together, gave her shots, after they put the ointment on her eyes and things like that, unfortunately, she had to go to the NICU because she had a fever and she was only a couple of minutes old. So they took her to the NICU, and I had to stay in recovery for 2 hours. So I didn't get to immediately bond with my baby because she was in the NICU and I had to be in recovery for 2 hours. And the whole 2 hours I was asleep. I was completely knocked out. Like all I remember literally is them rolling me out of the operating room into like this little waiting area, and I woke up and it felt like I was only napping for about 2 minutes, but I actually napped for the whole freaking 2 hours, and it went by so quick. And I really didn't know that I slept that long, but I did. And while those 2 hours are going past, my boyfriend, he was like, making sure she was getting, taken care of, seeing all the things put on her, showing our family members her pictures, all that good stuff while I'm in recovery. When I woke up, he wasn't there. Like after she went to the NICU, he left. So I really didn't see him for the whole 2 hours I was in recovery either. Like he came back, checked on me, but he didn't stay, of course, because he got to be with the baby. So after that, we just, I went into the NICU room, and that's when I finally got to hold her and bond with her a little bit. I tried to breastfeed her. She latched right on, and it was basically, our little bonding moment. We had family members in there, and there was a lot going on because she had to be in the incubator and she had to have an IV because they had to give her the nutrients that the milk gives her. They had to give her that through an IV. So she had a lot going on, and she had to have a light on top of her because she had to be kept warm because newborns, they don't control their temperature very well. So you had to make sure that the temperature is controlled by you. So after that, I left the NICU and I went to my room, and basically that was my little more of a recovery time because it was hard for me to walk. I still had the catheter inside of me, and I just basically got more sleep. I took advantage of her being in the NICU because I was just so in distraught. All these things are going on, so I took advantage of that. And she actually was, pretty good. They took very good care of her. They took very good care of me, and I had that extra support that every mom needs when they have like a C-section or have a baby, and it was pretty decent, and I enjoyed it. And around I want to say 2 a.m. the next day, August 7th, is when I went in the room and I tried to breastfeed her more and things like that. And then I just wanted to see her, and I was able to see her whenever I wanted. I was able to go in there, check on her. I went to every single feeding if I had to. I did all of those good things because she really didn't spend a night with me, with her in my room until the last night. So it was really, really hard not being able to have her with me 24/7 and have to go over there with having a C-section and getting cut. So it was really, really hard for me, and I just tried to do the best that I could by going over there every feeding that she had and trying to breastfeed and give her things. But unfortunately, since I did have an infection and I was sick, I couldn't breastfeed for a long time. I had to have IVs every 3 hours. So when I had my IV, I couldn't go over to actually be with my baby because I couldn't have the IVs, cords, and all that inside the baby's room at the NICU. So I just had to basically stay out of there and just stay in my room, which was kind of sad to me, but it was for safety, so I get it. And after that, you know, as time went past, you know, I'm just having a good time. I'm enjoying my baby. And then I want to say August 8th, they finally let her come to my room, and I'll just put some clips in there. I'll put more clips in this video on, you know, her coming to my room. So if you look at those clips, that's just me, you know, up early in the morning with her, and we're just having a good time. I'm, you know, just being a mom, taking photos and all those fun stuff. And we finally got a chance to leave on August 9th. So I was in the hospital from August 5th to August 9th, a whole entire week. I honestly was ready to go home. I was just ready to be relaxed and be in my own space. And that's basically, you know, I guess what happens when you have C-section. You got to stay for extra days. So, yeah. And honestly, guys, the labor part was not that bad. I honestly would do it all over again. Not now, but I'll do it all over again because it was a beautiful experience. Like, it's something that you think that you can't do, but you can. It was honestly the most amazing thing that I could have ever went through, and I would do it all over again. I swear I would. And I, you know, encourage you guys, if you're watching this video because you're about to have your baby, or if you're watching this video because you want to see, you know, you want to hear about other people's experience, I just say, hey, don't be afraid. You can do it because the baby got in there and the baby got to get out. So, you know, you can do it, and don't, you know, be discouraged because it's okay. Everybody's going to feel like, you know, they can't do it. But I thought that I couldn't do it. I thought that, you know, I'm scared, I'm nervous. I didn't think that I can give birth, but I'm a girl, I'm a human, a woman. I give birth. So I did it. And it was very, very alive. You know, it was a very life-changing experience, and I would do it all over again. So you guys, that is basically my labor and delivery story. I want you guys to, you know, like this video, put in the comments about your labor and delivery stories, and, you know, did you have a C-section? Did you have your baby natural? Put that all in the comments. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and tell me what you want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video.